Hello everyone. Today we are going to play My Name Is You, and it's the only unusual thing in my life. I think it's a visual novel. I'm not sure. I've just been looking at this game for like 3 years, I think, because I just like the name. And because San Andreas videos are on hold at the moment due to my boyfriend not editing his parts. And we're going to English. Yeah, I already have it. So we are going to play this game instead. Cyberpunk is not doing that great right now, but it's fine. I still continue, especially because there are people, or at least one person, who is genuinely interested in my Cyberpunk Let's Play, which makes me very happy. Thank you very much. I appreciate any kind of support, really. But let's go to the My Name Is You, and as I told in the Cyberpunk, one of latest Cyberpunk videos, but I have not posted it. I have a new microphone, so I hope the audio quality will be a little bit better now. So let's start a new story.
I suppose I will start at the very beginning. Chapter 1.
Should I skip it myself, or?
Once upon a time, there lived you.
Okay, I need to skip it myself.
Despite his unusual name, his life was hardly any different from others. It was an unusually usual day when he was getting ready to go to work. 2 hours of sleep. What a formality, he said to himself, glancing at his watch. He was used to working at night, just as he was used to never having days off. That morning, the buttons on his shirt were fastened faster than usual. This was not by chance. The tear-off calendar boldly declared Friday, April 3rd. It reminded him that there were only 3 workdays before his holiday, and there was no room for mistakes. His room in a communal apartment was not very big, so it did not take him long to pack. Having got dressed, he quietly walked past the neighbors' rooms into the hallway. Somebody was snoring loudly in the furthest room, which caused you to smile for some reason. He walked up to the front door and accidentally stepped on a pile of letters. Picking up the envelopes, he saw his name on one of them. You automatically put it in his pocket and walked out. The thought that next Sunday, a huge stone would be removed from the entrance to the crypt of his existence by the power of labor legislation kept you going.
Okay, now I have a chance. Hurry to work or read the letter. I would read the letter actually, so let's go with this one.
Glancing at the address line, a chill went through Yu's body for a split second. From Darina. Yu was confused by the seal on the envelope, indicating the place of departure, Novigrad. Is she really coming back to Kannot? Yu wondered. Dear Yu, my doctor's suspicions are confirmed. I have the same disease that struck you. I thought it over and decided that we need to break up. It may seem that things like that should bring people closer, but it would be unfair to myself. We can have our last date on the morning of April 3rd in the Seafront Cafe, and then I will leave Kannot and go abroad. He felt dizzy.
Okay, she's breaking up with us, but she wants the last date. But I don't know if I would assume that he really loves her, and because it's the last chance to see her. It's hard because I'm this type of person. I need if I have obligations to go somewhere, I have to be there. But let's go to the cafe. If you already read the letter, see what she's going to say. But Rebro is probably going to be even more heartbroken than he is right now.
Although you suffered from excessive hypochondria, he really had an incurable illness. He clearly remembered the day when he heard the diagnosis. Since that moment, he stopped counting new birthmarks on his body. He seemed shaken up after reading the letter, but not surprised. He tried to squeeze out a tear to see if he was still capable of showing emotions. Alas, he just welled up a little. You decided that it was because he had drunk a large amount of coffee, which dehydrated his already dried up body. Approaching the seafront, he tried to spot Darina. It did not take him long to find her. There she was, at the cafe table. She probably had no clue how much he appreciated her starting the conversation. Usually, you are late.
It isn't correct to say usually you are late, but okay. I think it's the game is created by a Russian because one of the languages is Russian. So I won't be that harsh on the grammar, and I'm making mistakes myself. So who am I to judge? I'm not a native speaker.
I am tired. I hope you understand me. But he did not. Having overcome his anxiety, he squeezed out a handful of words.
I mean, as they say, if you love her, let her go, you know, another way around, so I agree with parting.
He seemed to be ready for such an outcome and did not hold a grudge against her. Nodding goodbye to her, you hurried to work.
Oh, it was a short one, so it's not that bad.
He was almost there when he saw his boss enter the office building. He took it as his personal failure, although his watch showed that he still had several minutes. You had barely got into the office when he noticed two male silhouettes behind him. He turned around and saw his boss and a man he had never seen before, a little further away. To avoid unnecessary explanations, you took a badge from his table and pointed to it. Yes, despite the fact that there was no live communication with clients, the work charter required to wear a name tag, probably to remember your name. Wow, that's a very unusual name. Nice to meet you. It is the only unusual detail of my life. An awkward pause hung in the air. The boss standing behind Frank frowned and cast a reproachful glance at you.
What a party pooper, you know? Like, bro just tries to make a conversation and the other bro is like, help, yeah, my life sucks, that's the only good thing about it, basically. Like, I wouldn't try to talk with the person anymore. For me, just like, if someone does stuff like this, for me, it looks like attention seeking. Because I used to have serious problem with attention seeking myself, especially when I was in puberty, so I really don't appreciate when people are like, well, my life sucks. Okay, good, everyone's life sucks at one degree. You don't know if someone's having it worse than you are. Like, why would you assume that you're the only one in the room that is struggling?
Frank is our security guard starting today. Oh, we have nothing to... A security guard. Some of my important documents are missing.
Oh no.
There are only two of us. What kind of documents? That I cannot tell you. You mean you suspect me? No, I do not.
Also, the voice actor, like, someone give him an Oscar. I don't know, but like how he says right now the previous line, it really made me think of Vex from League of Legends, you know, like a voice that doesn't care about anything in the world, like, you mean me? Okay, I don't care.
Eliminating any opportunity to continue the conversation, the boss turned around and went into his office. The room plunged into silence. Yu got down to some clerical work. Yu was sitting at his sturdy desk, imagining again and again how the shelves, stocked with books on jurisprudence, would break loose due to their own weight from friable concrete and break his head.
That guy, he thinks like me. Like, I think many people have this, when you're sitting in the classroom or at work, you're thinking, oh, if that ceiling fan falls, whom would it hit, Or if that lamp falls, if shooting stars from outside of the window, who is going to be caught with the bullets and all that stuff. That's why I prefer to sit next to the doors, but I usually just go where the sockets are, because I am always on my laptop. I have the digital addiction, I need to have my laptop open. I need to do something at the same time. Usually I'm just drawing or during the lessons though. But the point is, I'm always trying to move next to the sockets because I'm afraid that my laptop will run out of charge. And one of my big fears is that one of my stuff, like phone or laptop, runs out of charge, like completely. I don't know, it just irritates me a lot.
Allowing himself a little break, Yu took his diary from his table drawer and made a note.
I never took a plate of soup at school lunches, even when I really wanted to. I was afraid to spill it in front of everyone, but I could put it on the table, which seems to be my life's pattern.
Feeling some satisfaction from writing that, he resumed work. There was a rustle of the janitor's broom and the trill of birds outside the window.
More accurate than the clock,
Yu thought.
What I thought, what if the girlfriend stole the papers and just fucked off to another country so that he won't be, or she won't be caught? Because I think in the beginning it said like the more you replay or something, the more you get to know about the story. So maybe if we didn't go to the meeting, went to straight to work, we would see her exiting the work building or something.
Chapter 2.
Oh, chapter 2, yay!
On the second day of work, every sip of coffee came out of his nose as blood.
I actually like this quote, not going to lie. I don't know, it's a bit too long to quote it, but it reminds me of another quote from a book I read. It's Estonian author, so I think, I'm pretty sure you don't know it, but it's called Rändaja õnn, which means adventurous luck. And there was basically a quote that we are drinking coffee in the morning, silence me, you and death. I don't know why, but I really like this quote. I still do. So a little bit reminds me of it, like on the edginess level and on the coffee level.
Covering his nose with his hand, Yu went to the restroom. Excuse me. I wish I could narrate a little faster and keep you from getting bored. But it is difficult in my condition. Let's continue. Returning to his workplace, Yu saw Frank sitting at his table and leafing through his personal diary. Such violation of personal boundaries, it seemed, was about to put Yu out of temper.
Give it to me.
Here, take it. I was curious. In a moment, Yu hid his diary in the drawer of his desk. I am sorry if I offended you. The incident seemed to be over, but Frank's intrusive nature got the better of him. Can I ask you a question? Why does everyone in your notes die?
Because I am depressed and it's not your business. Literally, bro was reading other person's diary, thinking it's like okay, and now he even starts asking questions about it to make the situation even worse. Like 200 IQ move, I'm telling you. But I will answer him because I want him to be scared of me.
Perhaps the lack of communication affected you. Unexpectedly for himself, he answered the question directly.
I'm not sure, but it seems to me that the desire to kill a self-protagonist in the text takes root in the desire to alienate the described situations from a real self.
You said it as if he had prepared an answer to this question a long time ago. Or, at least he had thought about it before. Silence set in. Frank was embarrassed by his answer and tried to look understanding.
Well, more likely that it is just easier to kill.
Call the police. That guy is not normal. Like, he made some, I think, psychologist or something like this. Like, because, like, this is like the next level of edginess here.
The office phone rang.
Well, but at least something is going to interrupt the awkward silence. I will answer the call.
As soon as you came up to the phone, the ringing stopped.
Because I think it's like a kind of job, because there are only like 2 people in the office, right? And if the owner or CEO, whoever the boss is not there, then logically I should pick up the calls, I think.
He barely returned to his desk when the phone rang again. As soon as you came up to the phone, the ringing stopped.
Someone's making jokes about me, right? I remember when I was, I think 14 or something, I was really into creepypasta, like I was breathing it. And then I woke up at night and I heard like knocking on my window. I'm sleeping, my bedroom at home is on the 2nd floor. So I went up, there was like nothing in there, like not even a bird, not a branch, it's just like window looking into nowhere. And then as soon as I got back down, something knocked on the window again. And I was like, oh fuck you bro, I won't wake up and stand up the 2nd time for you. And then the knocking stopped. I don't know if like probably I was too tired or I was too sleepy, maybe it was like half in a dream, because I was like, as I said, I was like I'm very over emotional, and this might have caused it. I'm actually like sleepwalking and stuff. And maybe because it was during the night, so you're sleepy, you're half asleep, then I think this caused the illusion, hallucination of someone wanting to get in by knocking on my window. But this just reminds me of this situation. But I'm going to keep answering this phone. Like, it's my job, I'm sorry.
He barely returned to his desk when the phone rang again.
I'm picking it up, I don't care.
As soon as you came...
Okay.
He barely returned...
Yeah, I will keep doing it, like... Let's see how long we can keep up with it. Yes.
He barely...
The game wants me to give up, but I won't.
As soon as you... He barely...
I will try it like 3 more times, and if it doesn't work,
barely returned to...
I'm going to silence, because it might be as well coded that it will happen every time.
As soon as you... He barely returned...
2 more times.
As soon as... He barely...
1 more.
As soon as...
Oh, I hope that it will change after I pick it up like 10 times. Like a secret stuff. Okay, I'm going to ignore it.
The ringing bored into his skull. You was buzzing together with the receiver. You involuntarily took off, but his head started spinning, and he was seeing dark spots. Holding onto the railing, you slid down the stairs and jumped out onto the street.
That's interesting reaction.
He ran into his boss at the door, who stood there smoking.
Go to bed now. You can give me the rest of the papers tomorrow.
This is a strange thing to say. Like, I would be creeped out if my supervisor or someone told me to go to bed.
He did not have any strength left to work anyway. Although he left some things in the office, Yu was not in a hurry to go back. He sat down on the doorstep to rest.
I'm going to sleep there.
His vision was not particularly keen on the second day, so it took him a while to recognize a familiar face. Yu livened a little. A welcoming grin appeared on his face.
Hi, Max. Why are you not at work?
Oh, hi, Max.
I dismissed my students a little early. How are you feeling? As usual, another night shift. If I was your father, I would have fired you long ago. What will you have left for me then?
Max answered with a question.
Do you want me to take your shift?
Nah. It's only like one day left to work before holidays, so it would be kind of strange to make the bro work for me. You know, it's a little bit to suffer and it's going to be fine.
No, thank you.
Yu quickly said goodbye and left.
First time see goodbye being written with the little, I don't know what it's called. I call it minus sign. But I know it's not minus sign.
He heard some painful coughing behind his back, and his lips let out a grin of satisfaction.
Roy's dying right now, I think.
Coming home, Yu could barely stand on his feet. Notwithstanding his lack of sleep and fatigue, he could not fall asleep.
Wow. Okay.
The day flashed in his head on repeat. As for the breakup, he did not see himself as the victim.
And I'm apologizing that I'm skipping sometimes too fast. It has happened like 3 times already. It's just that I'm a very quick reader and sometimes I forget that I'm recording. So like once I finish reading it by myself, I like skip and I'm like, oh shit, you know, I didn't finish saying that like last word.
On the contrary, the entire time during his relationship with Darina, Yu wondered,
Why did she love him? Drained of all strength and weak in spirit from birth.
he did not anymore. Dizziness and pain subsided.
At least he can go to sleep.
At some point, he even thought about calling a doctor, just to make sure that he was still alive. But sleep took its toll.